Okay, so I think we're going to call this indecisiveness, but I'm not sure. Okay. There is, yeah, right. We're going to find out. Okay, so are we going to start, everybody? Okay, maybe. Nobody can, okay, getting nods now. What was this video on? There are so many different things that indecisiveness can prevent. You know, like, oh, God forbid we ask what everybody wants for lunch. It's going to take an hour. And there's indecisiveness, like, as you can probably tell from us in this title, I don't even know what to call it. I'm speaking of a very specific, I'm speaking of a very specific indecisiveness when it comes to your art. Obviously, well, I shouldn't say especially, obviously, about art, indecisiveness. And that doesn't just mean fine art, especially for me. It also has to do with the videos we do. The indecisiveness I'm talking about is not what I want to do next. It's I do something, you know, whether it's a painting or a video, and if it's a video, you know, Will or Ming will show me the rough cut, and I'll watch and be like, you know, I like that. That's pretty good, you know, and I'll go to bed, and then the next morning I'll go back and I'm like, I'm gonna watch that again. I'm like, that is crap. Who would ever want that? Who would like that? Who would love him? You know, who would love him, Mom? You know, they say that if you come back to something with fresh eyes, you'll have a better perspective. I find it's a Russian roulette toss of the coin. I can come back to something 4 or 5 times and have 4 or 5 different ways I feel about it. And I mean, there are literally videos, and this is no exaggeration, like the erasing video, Will. There's this 8-minute one we did on erasers. And I have we did it almost a year ago, more than a year. I could not decide, is this worth posting? Is it, because there is, you know, things in there funny, but I can't make up my mind. And as soon as I say to Will, okay, we'll post that next Tuesday, by next Tuesday, I'm like, don't put that up there. I don't want to subject anybody to my nonsense. And of course, with my art, it's the same thing. I like it. I want to show somebody, and then, I get a little scared. I don't want to. I liked it before, though. So what I want to know is, well, when was I wrong? Am I wrong when I like it? Am I wrong when I don't like it? I can't decide. It's indecisiveness. So we've done videos on things like, you know, when is my art finished? And it's not like that for me. I can usually tell, like, okay, I'm done. You know, like I'm throwing in the towel. But it's like, well, do I like it? I can't decide. And those fresh eyes sometimes confuse me more. If this is something that you also experience, I wanted to share with you some of the things that I've kind of learned, at least about me, over the years that might contribute to that indecisiveness. I think one of the biggest things that I need to be conscientious of when I come back with those fresh eyes is my mood. I mean, and that could be everything from like, well, have I eaten? Because I can get cranky. So, you know, I have to be conscientious of my mood, because if I am, you know, irritated about something, or I'm, like I said, I'm hungry, or, you know, maybe just something else is on my mind and I'm distracted, I might find that I do not find myself funny or talented in my art just because of that. On the opposite end of that spectrum, I might be shot out of a cannon in a good mood. You guys have seen me on that. I call those on my upper days. You know, and on those days, no matter how bad it might be, I think it's great because, hey, I'm manic, apparently. So understanding where I am in that spectrum, yeah, manic, you're like, yeah, you won't shut up. Depending where I am in that spectrum, I know that when I'm in a relaxed, calm state is the best time for me to make a decision as to how I really feel about it, because I'm not distracted by, you know, excitement or, you know, something that's kind of getting me down. Does that make sense? Along with that is, are you feeling, or in my case, am I feeling confident that day? Your confidence is, as we've talked about several times, a very important feature of your art. How confident you are. You have to make confident marks. Whenever you put pen to paper, whenever you put brush to canvas, you have to be confident in those marks, because you can actually tell a confident mark from an unconfident mark. I think that actually shows in the artwork. I can do examples of that, but I mean, we're set up for a real talk. It's just you and me. Let's not get crazy, okay? There's too much going on. Also, you know, along with that is, you know, do you feel like taking a chance? Are you feeling risky? Are you feeling frisky? Do you feel like putting something out there? What? I get frisky sometimes. Do you feel like taking a risk, taking a chance? And sometimes that courage gives you that confidence that you can continue to use words that start with a C. Look what I just did there.
When you're in the zone, when you're confident and like every shot's going in, like that's when you're enjoying yourself the most.
You're not caught up in your head.
You're not caught up in your head.
That Ming, oh, thank God for Ming, or I would just be wandering around in circles around a parking lot of a Home Depot. When you're not all caught up in your own head, I mean, because I get very caught up in my own insecurities and thoughts and whatnot. And like, you know, Ming was just saying to that athlete, you can tell when they're in the game or they're in their head. You get that kind of detraction from it, that separation, and it's not fluid. And that goes with the marks that you make. That goes with so many things about your performance in your art or on the court or on the field or in bed. I am genuinely curious if this is something that affects just me or many people out there. I know that everybody experiences indecisiveness, but where I'm talking about that whole like making up your mind, do I like something or do I not like something? Like cilantro. It's hard to decide sometimes. Is that something that you struggle with? Or am I alone? These real talks are just you and me, but is it just me this time? Am I just talking to myself? I want to know, do you struggle with this? What I'm trying to say so ineloquently, is this something that's real for you? And if it is, what do you think contributes to it, and how might have you overcome it? I think that that's important. I think it's important that you make decisions when it comes to your art. I think it's important that you decide on your art. You decide to be creative. And I also think it's important that you decide on me on Instagram at Mike Not Jerry. Will saw it coming. Where I am going to continue to decide what to put up there, and continue to do these silly plugs. I like it. Yeah, so tell me below on how you make your final decision if this is something that you also struggle with. Because I do think that this is something very specific, and it might be too specific to really reach many people, but I've been surprised before where I put something out there that I thought that, all right, I'm going on a limb here, and y'all have come out of the woodwork and said, like, yes, me too. Thank God everybody loves Mexican food. That's a good thing. I mean, I love Mexican food. I have it 3 times a week. Oh, my buddy has a daughter named Alexa. So I was on the phone with him and his wife, and I said, hey, would it be a cruel joke if I ordered you an Amazon Echo? And Jennifer was like, what? And then Frankie's like, because he's like my spirit animal, and he's like on the floor laughing, and she's just like, I don't get it.
Hey Alexa.
Hey, okay, Google. Okay, Google. Okay, Google. Hey, Alexa. Alexa. This is ruining everybody's day.